Okay, day 2 of Unit 11 starts on page 8. Page 8 of your packet. So you can always pause the video if it goes too fast. But page 8, we dive a little bit deeper into rotational symmetry. So what happens here is that we're going to have this object and we're going to rotate it by a certain number of degrees in a particular direction. So for this example, we are going to rotate this figure 60 degrees, and we are going to rotate it in a clockwise. Remember, think of how the clock turns. Clockwise is this way. So if we start with point E, and each jump is 60 degrees, and I'm turning it clockwise, it means I'm going in this direction, all the way around. So 60 degrees for point E, if we move it, it then turns into point F. We also have line DC, we need to move 60 degrees. So if I do that in a clockwise rotation, it's going to jump up here to line DE. That would be my answer. And that's all there is. So it's always in groups of 60 degrees. So if we go down here to number 35, we're going to rotate this figure 120 degrees clockwise. So to get to 120, we would do 60 plus 60. So we have two 60s, which means we're going to do 2 turns. So line BC, if we're going 2 turns clockwise, we would go 1, 2, and it would become line DE. So that would be my answer. Point A, if we're going 2 turns, 1, 2, becomes point C. Now, triangle DOC, if we do 2 turns clockwise, becomes 1, 2, becomes triangle FOE. And finally, line OE, so this one, if we move it 2 turns clockwise, becomes line OA. And one more example I'll do with you. Here we're going to rotate about point R, and this time we're going 60 degrees, so it's just 1 turn, but we're going counterclockwise. So we're going this direction. Okay, so if we're starting with line VT, we're going to move counterclockwise 60 degrees, turns into this space, which is now line T. Then if we have point W, 60 degrees counterclockwise, becomes point V. Triangle ZRT, so ZRT, if we move that counterclockwise, I'm going to turn it so it will fit. That now becomes YRZ. So triangle YRZ. z. And finally line xy counterclockwise becomes line xw. So that's basically the first part of day 2 notes. I'm going to jump to the second part now. Remember, you have homework. You can look on your blue stamp sheet and it tells you what numbers to do. But now the second part of day 2 starts on page 10. On page 10 of your packet, I want you to write these notes. So again, pause the video so you can copy the notes down. We're going to talk more about the lines of reflection in the coordinate plane. We have 3 steps to follow. There are 4 different lines that we can reflect over. So the first line is our x-axis. And our x-axis is this line here. So if we follow our notes, we're going to start with a point. So if I start with this one, I count 1, 2, 3 jumps to the line of reflection. So that means I have to go 3 away. 1, 2, 3. Plot my point. Same thing for this point. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And if we look on the top ones, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the last corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you connect the dots in your new shape, your new graph. The second line of reflection that we have is our y-axis, and that is your line that's straight up and down. So again, pick a point, count to your line of reflection, so 1, now go the other way, 1, plot your point. There's the next point, 1, and then 1. Here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And connect your lines. The last 2 lines of reflection are a little bit tough. The first one is where y equals x. And remember, that is a diagonal line that goes through the origin. So I'm going to get the line. Alright, my origin is 0, 0. So if we go up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, it's a diagonal line. Then we can stretch it all the way through our graph. Okay, so there's 2 ways we could count these. You can count diagonally through the squares. So this point would be diagonally 1, 2, hits my line. So I go diagonally 1, 2, plot my point. This one goes diagonal 1, 2, 3. So I could go diagonal 1, 2, 3, plot my point. Here we're diagonally 1, 2, 3, 4. So diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4. And my last one, diagonally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Diagonally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you connect your knots. Alright, the last one we're going to talk about is y equals negative x. Alright, so let me get my point. I'm sorry, let me get my line. So y equals negative x is a negative diagonal line. Negative slope, remembering back in Algebra 1, goes through the origin. Alright, Now, my first point here is on the line of reflection, so it's just going to stay there. That's one of my points. And the second point goes diagonally through one box, so we go diagonally through the other side, plot it here. This point, diagonally 1, diagonally 2, so we go diagonally 1, diagonally 2. And my last point, diagonally 1, diagonally 1. And connect your new points. Those are the notes, and those are the 4 types of lines of reflection that you'll have. There's plenty of other practice, but remember to focus on your stamps, which are number 48, 49, 50, and 51. And if you're still confused, please come see me during 3rd period.